On this episode, I'm going to show you how to make a tiki bar sign for your backyard. I started out with a piece of wood that I had from another project. I sketched out my tiki head design, and then I marked off 2 locations where I would cut the board. After I cut the top part of the board, I got my jigsaw and then started to cut out the top part of the tiki head. After that, I went to my table saw and then I cut the bottom portion of the sign. I then sanded the entire sign to give it a nice, smooth finish on the edges. There was one part where I cut a little too far with the table saw, so I just went back with some caulk to fill the hole, smooth it out, so this way it'd be ready for some paint. For the tiki head, I used a brown, and as that was drying, I moved to the other section where I laid out some blue, some pink, some orange, and purple, and blended it all together to get the desired effect. I then made a stencil for my Cricut machine, and then I placed it on the wood and applied black paint for the lettering. After the paint was applied, I removed the stencil, and then I went and touched up the areas that had to be done by freehand. I used white on the base of the letters to kind of give a water and ripple effect. I then went over my stencil drawings on the tiki head, starting with the eyes, going over them with a black, then working on the mouth and adding some lines for the teeth, and then going over the eyes again with some blue and some yellow to really make them pop. I painted the nose black, and then I went and added some more detail. And once that was all done, I got out my measuring tape and I measured where I wanted to put my hooks on the sign for when it came to hanging it outside. Once the paint had dried, I applied a spar urethane to protect the paint and the wood from sun and rain damage. Once the urethane dries, this thing is good to go outside. Please feel free to subscribe, follow, and like all my Profit It channels so you can see all my future tutorials and builds that I put out there.